Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Uncle Matt's Cookery Lessons. I'm going to be making some fig chutney and I'm going to put them in jars like that off my mum's tree. Hello, got some figs here from my mum and dad's tree that I bought them years ago, and it's had a real bumper harvest. So I'm going to turn these beauties into some really lovely long life chutney that will stay in the fridge for many months to come, unless you polish it off very quickly. I've got an arrangement of other ingredients, some sugar, some vinegar and some spices. It's going to be just absolutely wonderful. Anyway, I'm going to crack on with it now. Alright, I'm starting with an onion. Any type of onion you fancy, really. I'm going for just a standard white onion. I'm going to dice it up, and I'm not chopping anything too fine for this recipe. I want mine to be all nice and chunky, but you can choose the size that you are happy with. You could grate the onions. You could also use a mechanical device. Why wouldn't you? Save yourself the effort. I'm using the outer skin, the zesty bit of an orange, and also the juice. That's one way of taking off the zest like that. And this is a much easier way of doing it, so I recommend you do it that way. But I want the juice as well. Really get all of it. As a particularly juicy orange that as well, very messy, but get all that. Now some spices. They've got you the what they are listed there, as you can see on the screen, and also the full recipe, as always, is in the description. So go and check that out. Lots of information there. Okay, so some muslin cloth or cheesecloth. I think this is necessary. You can get this most places now, or you can order it online. It'll be there next day. But do get some of that, because otherwise you're going to be picking all this stuff out of the chutney. So I'm making like a little bag, a tea bag, a spice bag, I suppose would be the right way of doing it. I won't sort of show you me tying knots, because I can't. I'm really rubbish at this. I just go round and round and round, then I double knot it and hope that it's going to stay put, and then I'm gonna, happy with that. And now I'm gonna, have I finished? No, I'm thinking one more double knot. There you go, and I'll hypnotize you into subscribe to my channel. Press like. Okay, I'm gonna sweat the onions, but that's it. So I'm gonna give those a few minutes on medium low heat. I'm gonna turn that down actually and just let those sweat really. I don't really want them to be coloured particularly. I thought I'd give them a bit of a head start as me washing the figs. I think that's important. Now my lady won't eat these. She thinks they've got sort of parasites or insects inside them, and I think she's missing out because they're well delicious. But here we go. Just removed the top bit there, and I'm thinking, I'm going to stick with this chunky theme. So about an inch dice there for those. Yeah, that's looking good. So we'll keep that going all the way. Now the origins of chutney, I think the original ones is Indian, Hindi, and I think the word would translate to something like to eat with appetite, and I always like the way that sounds. I think that's nice. Apple, again, it's all optional. So obviously lots of fruits in southern India, and they would use sugar and spices. The more British style, so at the time of the British Raj in India, we like this stuff. We thought, well, we'll have that, old chap. We like to nick everybody's stuff. But we had vinegar. There you go. There goes the vinegar. So the figs went in to join the onion. That was a white vinegar, a cider one, and I put some balsamic as well. Whacking great big load of soft brown sugar, but any old sugar will do. That was the juice of the orange. That's some dried mixed fruit. Obviously nuts would be alright in there. Chutney, it's preserving stuff for the winter, isn't it? That's the whole point. Giving it lots of flavour. So in goes my little spice bag. Nestle it in there, put the lid on, and bring it to a simmer. That took about 5 minutes or so. You can see now there's a lot more liquid. The water is releasing from the fruit and the vegetables, because there's a lot in there. So again, that's about another 20 minutes or so on a low heat, and
you know, you leave this alone at your peril. Obviously, you've got a slow cooker. That's brilliant. About 45 minutes in, we're not there. But you can see now, yeah, you can see we sort of draw a line in it and it stays. There is some liquid in there, but obviously this is still hot as well. So it will thicken up, become sort of syrup-like. So I think that's ready. Here's the jars that I found, you know, in the cupboard. I tend to not throw away my jars, but that's what I end up with, a bit of an eclectic mishmash of different shapes and sizes. But, you know, that's all right, isn't it? And I've boiled those to sterilise them. And I've got a load of lids there, and I'm hoping that the lids will fit the jars. I didn't actually check. And here we go. Right, so remove the spicy bag. And, yeah, let's decant. While it's still warm, get it into the jars. This is such an easy recipe. If you haven't made chutneys, don't be afraid, and try not to be weirded out by that little bit of something that's stuck on the side of my hand. That's annoying me. It's too late now. And there we go. Got a lid on that. That's 2 jars done. When I had them all done, I put them in a bit of boiling water with a cloth at the bottom to stop them cracking. That's my lady told me to do that. And I gave those about 10 minutes, and then I took them out and I just let them cool down. And it was very satisfying when you hear the lids make that little click noise, which means you've achieved a seal. So those should last. They should last for ages. But obviously, it'll be gone soon because it's delicious. But there we go. Label them, put the date on them, give them to some friends. Obviously, I'm going to be giving most of those to my mum and dad because they're their figs from their tree that I bought them. So it's a joint effort, really. Well done, mum and dad. Right, so I thought, well, let's utilise this chutney in a few different ways because it's Uncle Matt's Cookery Lessons. We don't just like to say there's some chutney, now get on with it. What about this? I bet you didn't think of this, did you? Mix some of the cold chutney, this is a few days later, with a bit of sausage meat and a bit of chopped up rosemary to make a stuffing. Butterfly, very, very scruffily, a chicken breast. It's not the neatest job I've ever done of that, but, you know, this isn't a butterfly and chicken breast recipe video. This is a chutney video. Put your stuffing in the middle, and we're going to fold that over like so. Yeah, seal the end of it. That's it, nice and tidy. And then we're going to give that a nice tight wrapping with cling film or surround wrap, depending on which side of the pond you're on. Really squeeze those ends, roll it, and I'm gonna think one more layer of this plastic to make hopefully certain that it's nice and secure, and then pop that in some simmering water for 10 minutes. Obviously, if you want to cook it all the way like that, you want it at least 20 minutes or so, but I got it into a pan, gave it a little pan fry with a bit of butter and oil, and then into a hot oven for another 10 minutes. And there we've got one really nicely cooked chicken breast. Didn't it look nice? Oh, I had that earlier. It was really tasty. And I thought, well, it's just I happened to have a little bit of onion gravy in my fridge, as you do. So yeah, there you go. That's one idea for using fig chutney that you may not have considered. Turn that into something elegant. Here's another idea. We're going to make a little puff pastry tart. So I'm just scoring now, I'm not going all the way through the pastry, I'm just sort of about halfway through, and then I'm going to give that a dock. The idea is that hopefully we're going to get the outer edge to overlap, you know, like a vol au vent really. So some of this nice chunky cold chutney down the middle. Those are some breadcrumbs. That is, I got that idea just recently, watched a Bruno Albu's video, and I thought it was clever because it's, if you put the tomatoes on fresh like that, those breadcrumbs help to absorb some of the moisture and it doesn't go through to the pastry at the bottom. Well done, Bruno, thank you for that. I don't need to recommend him really, he doesn't need any help, he's storming along. And there we go, put some goat's cheese on top, bang that in a hot oven, there we go. Goat's cheese and fig chutney tart, beautiful. Yep, and it's nice and flaky and just lovely. And of course, you may not have considered having it with some cheese and crackers. Now, all my other crackers from last week's video have gone because they was delicious. And that is a piece of cheese that I've made, and I'm going to do a recipe for that one, my next video coming out, and it's a collaboration with a YouTube mate of mine called Chef Jeff. Great guy. Anyway, back over to me for the tasting. Okay, so gave myself quite a lot to do there, but fig chutney. This stuff.
really, really nice. Showed it's not just for cheese and sandwiches, you know, you can use it in other things. So that's what I thought I'd show you here. Yeah, this phyllo tart is really nice actually. Bit of goat cheese was very soft, so it melted over the edges a bit. But how does it taste with that fig chutney, the tomato? Excuse me. That's very nice indeed. Okay, this I haven't tried this yet really. It's chicken. So chicken with the stuffing, but with the fig chutney through the stuffing. That's just a bit of onion gravy left over there from when we had bangers and mash the other day. Yeah, really fruity chutney. Lovely. And these. I'll do that in a video maybe one day. Chicken skin crisp. Fantastic. And finally, as you normally have it, as a chutney. And this lovely stuff here, this is queso fresco, which is a recipe from my YouTube mate, Chef Jeff, or Jeff Chef. I'm going to do a collaboration with him, and I'm making that, and that was my practice run, and it went really well. It's really lovely, nice fresh sort of cheese. And fig chutney. Yeah. Very nice. So, if you happen to have a big batch of figs or you want to buy some from the supermarket and you want them to last a while, turn them into a chutney and yeah, can the jars in some water and they should last for months, you would hope. Anyway, catch you next one soon. Bye.